morning, one and all. I'll be speaking on infectious scleritis, changing profile in a tertiary eye care center. So, infectious scleritis is a rare entity accounting for 5 to 10% of all cases of scleritis. Predisposing factors are accidental or surgical trauma, severe endophthalmitis, severe systemic illness, prolonged use of corticosteroids, or immunomodulators. Most common organisms reported are Pseudomonas aeruginosa, followed by fungus. Other rare being Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, nocardia, viruses, and mycobacterium species. Infectious scleritis generally has a very poor clinical outcome due to its initial picture clinically being identical to immune-mediated scleritis, which results in delay in diagnosis. Also, avascular structure with dense collagenous framework of the sclera limits penetration of traditional topical antibiotics. So, we studied the demographics, clinical profile, microbiological profile, and treatment outcome in all cases of infectious scleritis. It was a retrospective case series conducted in Department of Cornea Refractive Surgery in a tertiary eye care center in southern India. We included all those cases of clinically infectious scleritis which were culture positive, and those which were culture negative were excluded from the study. All the patients underwent slit lamp evaluation followed by scraping and smear staining for grams and KOH, and initial treatment was started based on clinical suspicion and smear report. Incision and drainage was done with scleral debridement, the perivascular anesthesia and the OT, and samples were sent for culture. Treatment was modified depending upon the clinical response and the results of culture and sensitivity. All those cases of fungal origin were treated with topical antifungals and topical fluoroquinolones with additional systemic antifungals in case of poor response, and in cases with intrascleral spread or any new focus of abscess, repeated debridement was done. Similarly, for bacterial etiology based on antibiotic susceptibility, we started on topical and systemic antibiotics. And topical steroids were used cautiously in tapering doses after active infection subsided or we saw any signs of resolution, which was defined as absence of symptoms, congestion, or active infiltrate. Scleral patch graft was done for any case presenting with scleral melt and uveal shock. Most of the cases were males in our study, and the infection was more common among the older age group. Most common presenting complaint was pain associated with redness in 80% of the cases. Scleral abscess was the most common clinical feature, which was associated with uveitis in 33% of cases and corneal infiltrate in 18% of the cases. Most common predisposing factor was trauma, followed by cataract surgery. There were 3 cases which were on prolonged topical steroids when they presented to us. Most common causative organism was fungus, followed by Pseudomonas, and one single case of Staphylococcus nocardia and Klebsiella. There were 2 cases of mixed fungal and bacterial infection. All the cases underwent scleral debridement, followed by topical and systemic antibiotics in 7 cases, and 5 cases resolved with only topical antibiotics and antifungals. 1 case underwent scleral patch grafts and another case underwent cryotherapy as adjunctive treatment. Mean duration of resolution was 35 days. So 83% of the cases resolved well and blue could be preserved, while 2 cases went for evisceration. Other complications seen were cataract, absolute glaucoma, choroidal detachment, and panophthalmitis. In our study, most common predisposing factor was trauma, unlike other studies which have reported ocular surgery to be the commonest. Most common predisposing ocular surgery in our study was cataract, like other studies from India, but Western literature states pterygium as the most common predisposing surgery. Mean duration of presentation of fungal scleritis was slightly longer than that of Pseudomonas scleritis. Most common organism isolated was fungus in our study, and which was similar to other studies from Indian background, but Western literature states Pseudomonas to be the commonest. All those cases which presented with a better visual acuity usually were seen to have a better visual acuity finally. Cases with early surgical debridement had a higher rate of globe preservation. So these are the few clinical cases. This is a unifocal scleral abscess of fungal etiology treated with topical and systemic antifungals, and 2 months post-treatment. This was the picture with minimal scleral thinning. This is a second case, which is a multifocal scleral abscess seen in Pseudomonas. This is a post-cataract surgery scleral would melt due to Pseudomonas infection. So the take-home message is, history of trauma or any ocular surgery should raise high index of suspicion. Associated keratitis or uveitis along with scleral abscess may have an underlying infection. Fungus is the commonest positive organism in agricultural country with a hot and humid climate like India. Excessive cauterization of scleral bed in any ocular surgery and bare sclera techniques should be avoided. Early detection, directed antimicrobial therapy, and early surgical debridement is the key to a favorable anatomical and functional outcome. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Is there a question? All right.
Hello.
Should we move to the next?
Just one question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations for the good work, doctor. But just one query.
Yes, sir.
In a 3 years period, why your sample size is so small?
So it's a rare disease, not very common, sir. Just accounting of some 5% of all scleritis cases. So it's
But don't you think that this sample size is too small to conclude that that trauma is the leading factor in your series, whereas all the other series are showing that the post-surgical incidence is much higher? Because the etiology changes there.
Yes, sir. So if it is other studies were like around 10-year study, so maybe we would review cases from a longer duration. It may change, but it was a 5-year study, sir.
Yes, I think you should take more cases.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
One more question, Dr.
Thank you.
Vidisha. Yeah. It was a very good presentation.
Thank you,
But I would
sir.
like to ask you one question.
Yes,
Before culture and sensitivity report come, what would you
Yes,
start?
sir.
The culture
Sir,
and sensitivity
we'll start
report
with
cover
broad. We'll start with broad spectrum and topical and oral antibiotics like maybe fluoroquinolones and this fluoroquinolone oral and antibiotic topicals, sir.
and any
But if
standard
our
for-
history is like some vegetative matter injury or something like very specific they are giving, then we'll add additional antifungals also, and we'll see it till the culture comes, report comes.
any standard fixed regimen would you recommend?
So topical fluoroquinolones with antifungals and oral fluoroquinolones.
Fortified or commercially available? You start
commercial-
fortified or
Yes,
commercially
sir.
available?
Commercially available, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Sir.
Can I ask?
Doctor.
Can I
Yes,
ask,
ma'am.
please?
Yes,
Please
ma'am.
tell me, doctor. First of all, it's a very, very unusual cases that you presented. That's very nice. I have a question that in Western countries, numbers of pterygium operated are much lesser than in our country. But you have presented that that you have had maximum cases in India. In India, the cases that you have shown are mainly in cataract.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you account for that? That means, is there something wrong with the methodology that is the procedure of surgery?
Yes, ma'am. In Western countries, we are basically doing phaco and SICS is not much common. But since SICS is common in our country, and we go for a scleral cauterization and everything, so that makes it more commonly seen in India.
So all your cases were of SICS?
SICS, yes, ma'am. Yes,
Thank you. That's a very important point that you have.
Yeah,